Yesterday was a crazy day. I have to appreciate that my life is just not normal. It is not normal in any way whatsoever. Began the day doing the Russell Brand interview. It was so wonderful. I can't wait for you guys to be able to see that. I think it is going to be released tomorrow. But then thereafter, I joined Don Lemon on his podcast. Now, I know you're probably thinking, Candace, why would you do that? Don Lemon, oh my God, he was pushing the COVID backs, all this stuff. Well, he's no longer at CNN, and I'm a person that believes that people can transform. And his team was very kind when they reached out, and so they just wanted to have a totally normal conversation. This wasn't supposed to be a gotcha interview. But of course, in the back of my head, I knew very much that it was going to be a gotcha interview because they just can't help themselves. He cannot help himself. In fact, at one point in that conversation, he straight up says that he is the establishment. But let me tell you this. I have been in politics a very long time, or I guess a long time relative to my life, 8-9 years. But I can guarantee you that what went down yesterday on his show, I have never experienced anything like that. Never experienced it. So I'm going to just take you through some very interesting moments. First and foremost, I don't know why this always happens when people are trying to get me, but they always try to get me by showing me a clip of myself as if I'm going to be startled by what I said. I mean, it's like, I know, guys, I know I said it because it was me that said it. And so Don Lemon did this. He showed this old clip of me talking about how we have allowed the English language to be maneuvered by perverts. And I was speaking about the word faggot, meaning a bundle of sticks, because that is what it meant when I was reading Virginia Woolf. And then suddenly a button got pressed and they said, no, now people are using it to talk about homosexuals and you can no longer say that. And I said that we should not do that. We should not allow perverts to dictate language. And then bizarrely, Don Lemon then tried to ask me if I wanted to call him the F word. Take a listen.
So the word you said was right?
Yeah.
Is that exactly the word? So what did you mean by that? You think it's okay to say the word, to call people a to their face?
No, actually, I said words have meaning. And so when you start allowing the perverts to dictate speech, then words just have to go away. And as I said in that clip, when I was growing up and I was reading English novels, when people say you're walking through the woods to get a faggot, it meant a bundle of sticks. And then they said you can no longer say this word that has a real meaning, right? A bundle of sticks, because some pervert took that and threw it as an epithet towards gay people. I think that's actually, that's a wrong way of thinking, because then what you're doing is you're allowing perverts to dictate society. So I don't like the death of the English language because people are getting offended. So that's like, I could pick any word. I could say, plant. And from now on, every time I see a gay guy, I'm going to be like, he's a total plant. And then eventually they say you can't say plant anymore. It's like, no, this is a real word that has meaning. Attack the person who's perverting the word, but you don't suddenly disappear a word and you say you can no longer say it, or you can no longer read these Virginia Woolf novels because the word has been perverted. I think that's a backwards way of thinking.
You can read Virginia Woolf novels. And the only people I know who are trying to ban books, Virginia Woolf, and other books that even say the N-word, I mean, it's conservatives. That's who's trying to do it. I don't think that you should be banning books. But I do know, Candace, that language evolves over time. And when people say that word to me, they're not calling me a cigarette. They're not calling
obviously,
me
that's the point. It has a context. So if you want to punish that person because they're saying that offensively, that, if you feel that this person, but it's not fair to then say to everybody else who's not using that word that this word has now been banned. I just think that's ridiculous, Yeah. That's my point.
Yeah.
I don't think you can suddenly say go backwards and delete words that had real meaning because someone has perverted it, because then it never stops. It just becomes constantly having to update the language for people's feelings. And I don't think that we should be doing that.
So you would never call me a to my face, right?
Well, why would I just randomly call you a
I'm just
meaning, have you ever seen the Louis C.K. skit on? Have you ever seen the Louis C.K. skit on?
No, I like Louis C.K., but I don't think I've ever seen a skit
watch
on
it.
Yeah. No, but you would never call like a gay person that to their face.
That seems like an absurd, no, of course, I'm not just going around. I'm a 35-year-old mother. I don't go around being like, hey, you're a That's just like, I'm not 18 years old. Like, I'm not going around calling people names, period. I wouldn't go up to a fat person and call them names. I wouldn't call it's just like it's an absurd thing to be going around pointing and calling people names because I don't like them. No. So the answer is no, I would not.
Do you use the N-word?
No, I don't.